Now that our data is loaded, we need to define the variables that we will later use in our reports. Let's get started. Firstly, let's click on the Variables tab. The Variables tree is where the study format is defined, and it allows us to create folders and group questions to manage the data. These variables are then used to build reports. Now let's start organising our data by creating folders and assigning variables to these folders. You can create as many folders as you wish, but in this case I'm going to create just 2. Create a folder by clicking Actions and then Add Folder, and let's call this folder Demographics. Now let's create the second folder in exactly the same way, and let's call this folder Questions. Your variables tree should now look like this. Continue creating as many folders as you need until your data is in a folder structure you are familiar with. We now need to allocate specific variables to these folders, and we can do this by dragging and dropping the variables on top of the folder. You can select multiple variables at once by holding down Shift and clicking on the last variable you want to select. In this case, I'm going to drag and drop all of my demographic variables into my demographics folder and all other variables into my questions folder. If you click on one of your variable folders, you will see that we can expand and collapse the folders to view the variables. Let's click on any variable in the variables tree to bring up the list of variables on the right-hand side. We can use the drop-down menu here to filter on the variables. And there we have our variables tree. It really is as simple as that. Our variables are now ready to be used in reports. In the next section, we will be looking at how to create grouped variables.